The drink America loves most was invented by a pharmacist who was trying to cure headaches, and it once contained actual cocaine. The country that drinks more tea than anyone on earth isn't Britain, or China, or India. And one nation loves a single soda so much they've started using it in church. Here's the strange truth. The drink a country can't live without says more about it than almost anything else. Here's the most popular drink in every country. Let's start close to home, the United States. And the answer is Coca-Cola. Americans drink oceans of soda, and Coke sits on the throne. But here's the part most people never learn. It began in 1886 as medicine. An Atlanta pharmacist mixed it as a health tonic meant to cure headaches and fatigue. And yes, the original recipe really did contain cocaine from the coca leaf. It was sold at pharmacy counters, not vending machines. That accidental medicine became the most recognized product on the planet, and the unofficial taste of America itself. Now cross the Atlantic to the United Kingdom, and the answer surprises no one. Tea. The British drink an almost unbelievable 100 million cups of it every single day. But here's the twist. Tea isn't British at all. It came from China and India, and Britain only fell in love with it through empire and trade. They made it their own by adding milk, turning a delicate Chinese ritual into strong, no-nonsense builder's tea. Today, a proper cup of tea isn't just a drink in Britain. It's the answer to every problem, good news or bad. Head to France, where the national drink is exactly what you picture: wine. For generations, wine was on the table at lunch and dinner, treated less like alcohol and more like food. It's woven into the country's land, history, and pride. But here's something that shocks people. The French drink far less wine than they used to, with consumption falling dramatically over the decades as younger generations turn to water, beer, and coffee. The image of France drowning in wine is real, but it's also slowly becoming a memory. Just south in Italy, the lifeblood is coffee, specifically espresso. Italians don't sip giant cups for hours. They stand at a bar, knock back a tiny, intense shot in seconds, and get on with their day. It's a ritual repeated millions of times over, morning to night, and Italians are fiercely protective of how it's done. To them, coffee has rules, and breaking them marks you instantly as an outsider. Espresso isn't a drink you buy in Italy. It's a small, sacred pause built into the entire rhythm of the day. Now to Germany, home of the drink with its own festival. Beer. Germans have brewed and celebrated it for centuries, and they take it so seriously that a law from 1516 once dictated that real beer could contain only water, barley, and hops. Beer here isn't rowdy, it's cultural, tied to regional pride, ancient breweries, and family recipes. From massive beer halls to quiet village pubs, it's the drink that brings Germans to the same table. Few countries have ever loved a beverage this openly or for this long. Push northeast into Russia, and everyone expects one answer: vodka. And it's true, vodka is woven deep into Russian history. The word itself comes from the Russian word for water, meaning something like little water. But here's the twist most people miss. The drink Russians actually reach for all day, every day, is tea. Served strong from a traditional urn called a samovar, tea is the warm, constant companion of Russian life, especially through those long, brutal winters. Vodka is the legend. Tea is the daily reality. Travel to Turkey, and here is that record I promised you at the very start. Turkey drinks more tea per person than any country on earth, outsipping Britain, China, and India combined in per capita terms. Served black in small, tulip-shaped glasses, tea flows nonstop, at breakfast, after meals, during business deals, and at every social visit. Refusing a glass can almost feel rude. In Turkey, tea isn't a break from life. It is the social glue that holds the entire day together, one little glass at a time. Now to China, the birthplace of the drink that conquered the world, tea. Legend says it was discovered nearly 5,000 years ago when leaves blew into an emperor's pot of boiling water. From that accident grew a tradition that spread across the entire planet. But here's a fact that stuns people. China's most consumed alcohol, a fiery grain spirit called baijiu, is actually the best-selling liquor in the world, outselling whiskey, vodka, and rum combined, almost entirely because of how many people drink it inside China alone. Fly to India, where over 1 billion people run on one drink, chai. This isn't the sweet chai tea latte you find in the West. It's strong black tea boiled with milk, sugar, and spices like cardamom and ginger, brewed fresh on nearly every street corner. Vendors called chai wallas serve it in tiny cups from morning to night, and it fuels the entire nation. In India, chai is more than a drink. It's a daily ritual, a moment of rest, and an unspoken invitation to sit, talk, and connect. Head down to Mexico, and here's a callback that will genuinely surprise you. Mexico's favorite drink is also Coca-Cola, and Mexicans drink more of it per person than anyone else on the planet, even more than Americans. It's so deeply woven into daily life that in parts of the country it has taken on an almost sacred role. In certain indigenous communities in Chiapas, Coca-Cola is actually used in religious ceremonies, believed by some to carry spiritual power. A simple soda became so beloved it crossed the line into faith. Now to Brazil, where the obvious answer is coffee, and for good reason. Brazil has been the largest coffee producer on Earth for over a century, and the tiny, strong cafezinho is offered everywhere as a gesture of welcome. But Brazil has a second, stranger love: Guaraná, a bright soda made from a caffeine-rich berry that grows deep in the Amazon. Indigenous peoples use the berry for energy for centuries, and today, Brazil bottles it into a national soft drink you'll find almost nowhere else in the world. Cross the ocean to Australia, where the drink of choice is coffee, but with serious attitude. Australians helped popularize the flat white and built one of the most obsessive, independent cafe cultures anywhere. And here's the proof of how seriously they take it. When the world's biggest coffee chain tried to conquer Australia, it flopped so badly it had to close most of its stores. The locals simply refused to trade their beloved neighborhood cafes for it. In Australia, good coffee isn't a luxury, it's a baseline expectation. Jump to Japan, where the traditional drink is green tea. For centuries, it's been brewed daily and elevated into an art form through the famous tea ceremony, where preparing a single bowl becomes a slow, deliberate act of mindfulness. The star today is matcha, a vivid green powder whisked into a froth, and it has exploded into a global obsession, showing up in cafes from Los Angeles to London. But in Japan, matcha was never a trend. It's a centuries-old ritual the rest of the world is only now discovering. Down to Argentina, home to maybe the most social drink on this entire list: yerba mate. It's a bitter, earthy herbal tea, but the magic is in how it's drunk. Loose leaves are packed into a shared gourd. Hot water is added, and everyone sips it in turn through the same metal straw, passing it around the circle. It's not really about the caffeine, it's about connection. Refusing to share mate in Argentina would feel almost like refusing friendship itself. And finally, South Korea, where one drink dominates completely: soju. This clear, mild spirit is poured at nearly every dinner, celebration, and late-night gathering, always shared, always with a whole ritual of etiquette around who pours for whom. And here's the fact that shocks people. A single Korean soju brand is the best-selling liquor brand in the entire world, beating every famous whiskey and vodka on the market, powered by just how central soju is to Korean social life. So, did you catch the real pattern? From tea in 5 different countries to a soda that became sacred, the drink a nation loves most is never just a drink. It's medicine turned icon, ritual, memory, empire, and identity poured into a single cup. Tea and coffee may quietly rule the planet, but the surprises live in between. If even one of these caught you off guard, hit subscribe, because we break down the world exactly like this every single week. And tell me in the comments, what's the one drink your country can't live without? I read every single one, and to see what the whole world eats first thing in the morning, click the video on your screen right now.